Episode 17 of SchuZ Views, and the Powerhouse series continues with Episode 3 with DaRon Holmes. You're not going to miss it. I'm going to talk about the Brooklyn Nets and what the big deal with the Atlanta Hawks yesterday was and how that affects free agency. I give you guys a coaching update. Tons of crazy stuff went down there. Finals, they're getting going. It's big time in the SchuZ Zone. Oh boy. I had a whole lot of stuff. Paul Pierce is faking. DeMar DeRozan. NCAA, the three-point line, and Coach Book Richardson. Stay tuned, everyone. This episode is going to be a great one that you're not going to miss. What's up, everyone? I hope that everyone has had a very blessed week so far. But I am your host, Zach Schumaker, and I've got all kinds of stuff to recap from this past week. I'm here at my home in Arizona, and I've got a very special powerhouse guest in DaRon Holmes that you're not going to want to miss, we have to say, because he's recently picked up an offer from Kansas University, and boy, am I excited, and we definitely hit that one up. But without further ado, let's hit up the first topic about the big trade that occurred yesterday. Let's get into it. Alright, so the first topic. Boy, am I excited. I had to put this one in as the very first topic because you guys know what it is. A trade went down yesterday, the first trade technically of the new season, because this won't be finalized and officialized until the change of the season. And you guys know what it is. Brooklyn Nets finalized a trade which freed up 2 max spots. Brooklyn traded Allen Crabbe, the number 17 pick in the 2019 draft, and a first-round protected pick, which is lottery protected, 2020 first round pick, all in exchange to Atlanta for Taurean Prince and a 21 second round pick. So, let's start with this. Obviously, everyone, first of all, let's get into this. It cleared $18 million, which created $46 million in free cap space, which is 2 max spots. I was going to have to re-sign D'Angelo, another player, get 2 guys, trade for another guy. I mean, you can do whatever you want with that. Sean Marks has all the control in the world now. But before I go into that, in my theory, what's going to go down? I don't think anyone's realizing this. Yes, Allen Crabbe's a great player. I'm going to miss Allen Crabbe. It was a great meeting of the Summer League last year. He's a great person. He broke the Nets record before D'Angelo broke it this year. Had a lot of injuries issues. But he's going to be great for Atlanta. I think he's going to truly fit in great, be a good mentor to Kevin Huerter and the rest of those guys, and be another shooter. But no one's really realizing it. Taurean Prince is an insane pickup. Very under the radar move that Sean Marks just made. He's someone that's going to be a younger DeMar Carroll on a rookie contract, 3-and-D. He can shoot 3 at a very high level, and he's a very good young player. He can slide right on in. He's perfect for the Brooklyn grit and grind. Absolutely phenomenal pickup right there for the Brooklyn Nets and Sean Marks. Now, on to the big things, though. Like I said, cleared $18 million. Kyrie now has reportedly said that he's serious about going to the Brooklyn Nets, according to Woj. In my opinion, I think it's a done deal. And here's how the dominoes are going to fall. Kyrie Irving is going to Brooklyn. I think it's already set in stone. He will be a member of the Brooklyn Nets. You guys know I have thoughts and opinion on that. Just himself, I'm not that big of a fan of. Him and D'Angelo, it may or may not work. I trust whatever Sean Marks does. But here's my take on this. So if Kyrie's not going to New York City, that means that Kevin Durant's not going to go there. Because why is he going to go there if there's no other superstar? There's not even Zion there. And he wants to play with Kyrie Irving. So you take that out of the way. I don't think he's staying in LA Clippers due to the fact that there's so many guys in LA. You got LeBron with whoever he brings in. You got the Warriors still. You got Sacramento Rising. I mean, it's crazy out there. We're not coming to the East and you rule a state. Well, he's not going to do that in New York now. There's no reason to. So where does that mean he's going to land? Brooklyn Nets. I've said it before. And I am firmly set in stone that this is what's going to happen. I believe that Brooklyn will, at the very least, have a core of Kyrie Irving at the 1, Karis LeVert at the 2, and KD at the 3. Then, here's another move. Think about this closely. Anthony Davis. Not doing a huge fan of him because of leadership, no, but if he's the second or third best player, I'm all down for it. Depending on what I have to give up. Karis LeVert is off the books if I'm in Brooklyn. I cannot move on from Karis LeVert. He is huge and he's a big-time player that fits our mold, fits us perfectly. There's no way you're losing Karis LeVert. He's something very, very special, and trust me, he played great in the playoffs. You guys saw it, but he is special. I think he's still better than D'Angelo Russell. I think he's the best player in Brooklyn, and I'm not going to doubt that. But here's what I got to say. Anthony Davis, I believe, will be going down between 2 teams. Here's your 4 team that's involved and has the potential of landing Anthony Davis. Yes, Philly has the potential, but they're not moving Ben Simmons or Embiid. Yes, there's a lot of teams that have the potential, but they're not doing it. But here's what you got. You have the Boston Celtics. That's out of the equation because they know. Danny Ainge is set in stone and knows now. He will not resign. Because the only way you're trading this much for Anthony Davis is if he resigns at the spot right when the trade goes down. He would not do that with Boston. There's no Kyrie Irving. And he'll go there single-handedly because Tatum, Brown, all those guys will be moved. That's a big no. Boston's off the list. They're down to 3 teams. New York Knicks, that's also done. There's no Zion Williamson. There's no Kyrie Irving. There's no KD. There's nowhere to go to. You got Kevin Knox, Mitchell Robinson, good young players, but I'm taking Karis LeVert and those guys over him any day. And, by the way, as I just said, Brooklyn just signed both Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant. That's what you're looking at. And the other option is LA Lakers. I think it's split between those two. Both have valuable options. My only thing is LA's guys are beat up. Do they know the true injury capacity of what Brandon Ingram, what Lonzo Ball has? I don't know. And all those guys are valuable. That pick will be valuable, yes. But how valuable? It's not RJ Barrett. It's not Zion Williamson. It's not John Morant. What is it? I don't know. What Brooklyn can offer you, though, potentially a sign and trade deal. Although D'Angelo reportedly has a big next offer recorded from the Brooklyn Nets, the Orlando Magic, the Utah Jazz, Minnesota Timberwolves, and Indiana Pacers, and I'll get into those in a minute. But potentially as a sign and trade deal. We'll see. I don't know how positive you can say that is. But you will have Jared Allen involved in the deal, a great young big man you can build around. Alongside that, Dinwiddie will be involved in that trade, almost guaranteed. Rodion Cruz will also be involved in that deal. You will then be having it for sure involve your first and your second round pick. Also, you'll be involving another future first round pick. There will be other assets probably moved. John and Moose will probably also be moved in that deal. There will probably be others moved. We'll see. But I wouldn't say that's a bad offer. I mean, compared to what other teams are going to do. And once again, can other teams offer better deals than that? Of course they can. But are they willing to because of the fact that Anthony Davis might only stay 1 year and most likely will only stay 1 year? And potentially then go to Brooklyn or LA? I don't see why not. So you got to look at the teams that are legitimately going to throw out at him. And it's Brooklyn and that's LA Lakers. And what are those guys going to have? You break those down. Yes, they're very much even in my opinion. They very well are. And we'll see what goes down. But that's what you got for right there. So potentially, you have a chance at having a lineup of Kyrie Irving, Karis LeVert, Kevin Durant, and Anthony Davis on the Brooklyn Nets. And tell me that's not a contending team. No, that's not a contending team. That is a championship dynasty. I'm taking that over what Golden State has right now. Yes, I said that. I'm taking that over what Golden State has right now. You have two freaks. And potentially, if D'Angelo's not moving that sign and trade deal, you could potentially go over the limit again with that because he's got the bird rights and you can re-sign him. Crazy things going to go down in Brooklyn right now. But this is going to be special. And Sean Marks has the thing all ahead of him, and I'm very excited to see what he does with it. As for D'Angelo Russell, let's go down these teams. Brooklyn Nets obviously are up to who they sign. What happens? I thought he's almost guaranteed to stay unless we get 3 superstars. Well, there now potentially will be 3 superstars in Brooklyn. We will see, though. I would love to see him there. If he's still staying with Brooklyn Nets, I will be happy and very excited. As for the Orlando Magic, perfect. That team is it's a good built team. But I've seen him as a horribly built team. It's an offensive league and they only got defense. Mo Bamba, I don't know if they're going to keep him though because of the fact that they might re-sign Vucevic. I don't know. But Bamba, defensive anchor. Isaac, defensive anchor. Supposedly Gordon's a great defensive player as well. There's no offense. Fournier's a free agent. Vucevic's gone. What is there? They need offense. And yes, they need to draft someone with offense. They need to sign an other with offense. And what better than D'Angelo Russell? He would absolutely be perfect. Go in there, be the superstar, and potentially lead another team out of the dusk of being the second best team in the state. We will see what happens. I wouldn't mind that move, but I don't think it's happening. I'd be very shocked if he goes to Orlando Magic. Utah Jazz now. He's a player that needs a market. He needs the size of the city. Utah supports him, but is he where he fits in? I think him and Donovan Mitchell could be a very, very, very special backcourt dynamic duo that you don't want to mess with along with Rudy Gobert. I think that'd be one of the most elite backcourts, but would D'Angelo Russell want that? I think he loves the media and he loves the markets. Indiana Pacers, same thing, but what will Oladipo be? Is he healthy? Is he not? Miles Turner's a great player, but you can get it at so many other places. Why? Phoenix Suns are not one of those teams listed because they needed the money. They said Oubre is a priority now. I would love to see him there. He'd be perfect at point guard, but I don't see the money. It's not happening. They need to clear a lot of space, a lot of money. If they can figure that out, he's going to Phoenix Suns. But a team emerged, and I would be tremendously happy if he's not a member of Brooklyn if he goes here. Not many people have thought about this. But Minneapolis is one of the biggest cities in the country. You might not think about it as that, but it is. They need a scoring guy up front. You give me Karl-Anthony Towns, the second or third best center in the NBA, behind Joel Embiid. You give me Dario Saric in space to forward Josh Okogie, Keita Diop, the picks. You got all that kind of stuff, and the coach that I'm very high on Ryan Saunders. And of course, my guy Andrew Wiggins, which I said will have a breakout year this year, even if D'Angelo doesn't come. And you signed D'Angelo Russell, an elite scoring guy that can get you, in my opinion, he's a 24 to 25 point per game scorer next season with 8 or 9 assists and being able to get about 2 steals a game and about 5 rebounds. You add that into that team, a superstar. Watch out, folks. That is something you don't want to mess with. That is something, a scary monster that Ryan Saunders will have under his control, and that is a playoff team, one of the best young teams in the NBA. I would love seeing that happen, and I think that might just happen, folks. That might just happen. I mean, tell me that wouldn't be fun. You guys might not like it, but I love it. And that is where I hope D'Angelo Russell goes if he's not a member of the Brooklyn Nets next season. But point is, Brooklyn Nets have the option to become a super team or even a dynasty this offseason by making this trade for getting rid of Allen Crabbe. And then Marks continues to prove why he's one of the greatest, if not the greatest GM manager in the entire NBA, and there's no question about that. This summer is about to get crazy, as I've been saying for a very long time now. Coming up next, one of the top players in his class, and one of the top players, if not the best player, in the state of Arizona, DaRon Holmes comes on next. And trust me, you're not going to miss what to say. He's recently picked up an offer from Kansas, University of Arizona, and so much more. It's a great one. The Powerhouse series continues as the third person in the series. Stay tuned, everyone. You're not going to want to miss it. I couldn't be more excited to welcome the 51st ranked player in the class of 2021 and one of Arizona's best Millennium star, DaRon Holmes, to the third episode of Powerhouse series. How are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty well. How about you?
Pretty good. So we have to get right into it then. So obviously got offered by Kansas today. What's your thoughts about that?
You know, my mom and dad went there to school.
For sure. So would that be something that obviously you're going to really want to consider going to, or?
Yeah, that would be definitely, I would really consider going there.
Sweet. So obviously, I mean, you've got a lot of big offers, including Arizona, which you just got a couple of days ago.
Mm-hmm.
But what would you say would be some of your top 3, 4, or 5 picks as of right now?
As of right now, it would be the schools that I have got to speak with the coaches. So, like, for instance, ASU is a big one because I'm really cool with the coaching staff, really nice environment. Same as U of A. The coaches are really cool, and Kansas as well. I spoke to Kansas coaches and GCU too.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So is there anything in particular that stands out the programs in terms of like players? Or have you guys really talked to the coaches so far?
Yeah, the things that stand out to me for these schools is like the players, the coaches welcoming me on visits and going to see how it is there on the campus.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously you got ranked number 51 by ESPN. What were your thoughts on that when you first saw that?
You know, it just shows I have more work to do because I would like to be in the top of the top. And I'm glad that I am ranked, but I would like to stay focused, you know.
No doubt. So what would you say, I mean, would you say next year, where do you think you should be ranked around? Or where do you think you should be ranked right now, in your opinion?
Right now, I feel like, you know, wherever they put me is wherever they put me. But I'm gonna try to prove them wrong. Hopefully, I can get to the top 20. But you know, some people are underrated, so
for sure. So obviously, got invited this last year also to play in the March Mad Fest. How was that experience?
It was really nice. A lot of people came out. You know, a lot of great players were there. It was really nice.
So obviously, this last year, I mean, you had a big time year playing with Millennium, and you got a lot of awards. What would you say? I mean, you got the 5A Player of the Year, Region Player of the Year, Underclassman of the Year. What were some of your what do those mean to you, and how awesome were they?
They all mean a lot to me. It just shows, development. With my team, they've helped me out accomplishing these goals, and it just shows, especially my coaches, how much they worked with me. My trainers, Vaughn, Phil, everybody has worked with me and got me to the place that I'm at, and Coach Ty too. So I really appreciate it.
That's awesome. Yeah. So obviously another big one too is you got first team all Arizona with the likes of, I mean, some of the best players in Arizona. I mean, people that are recognized across the country like Nico, Jalen, Javon. What was that experience like?
It was really nice. It was nice to be around them. Like I was shocked, but like it was good. It was a good chance to get to meet them and everything.
No doubt. So obviously you're playing for Powerhouse this past season, and you're gonna take a little break playing with Millennium for June ball, and you get back in July. But why would you say would be the biggest factor to why you chose to play with Powerhouse?
Powerhouse, Ortega, they know what they're doing. They get a bunch of kids offers and looks, and not only me but my teammates. They've helped create a chance for colleges to look at these players, and I think that's the most important thing. And I like to stay loyal to Arizona, so like it's a really big thing to me. I like what they're doing at Powerhouse.
Absolutely. So what would you say besides like that? Is there like a certain specific thing that you truly do love Powerhouse, like rather your teammates or something
Yeah,
around that?
my teammates are all amazing. We share the ball really well. There's no really selfishness on the team. We all listen to each other and we bond really well. That's another good thing. And the coaches, Jeff and Vaughn and Michael and Archie are all really good coaches.
That's incredible. So obviously you play teamed up with Justice and went to Millennium now.
Hmm.
So when that first occurred, was it something where you guys talked and were like, "This is where we want to go"? You guys had different options, or just you guys both just happened to go to the same school?
Well, yeah, we were gonna follow wherever Coach Ty and his coaching staff were gonna go. Originally, it was gonna be St. Mary's, but fortunately enough, it was by my house where he moved it to Millennium, and me and Justice went there because we knew how great of a coaching staff that Coach Ty and they bring.
No doubt. I mean, you guys are definitely one of the top. I mean, young teams. I mean, you guys have
Yeah,
qualified for the playoffs and gone far. I mean, you guys are led last year by two sophomores mostly. I mean, your team is extraordinarily young. So I mean, you guys have a bright future ahead for sure.
yeah, I'll definitely say.
So. hmm So then, obviously, you got named to the first team all conference with Justice. What was that like?
It was nice. I love being named with my teammates. It just shows all the hard work that we put in, and a lot of our other teammates like Coleman, Jalen, a lot of other teammates should have been named up there as well.
No doubt. So obviously, I mean, a lot of time when you speak to people, they have like one more year left of high school. But you guys, like I said, you have already accomplished a
Yeah.
lot being young. But what would you say would be your biggest goal? I mean, for the next 2 years at Millennium.
Biggest goal is just getting better. Being ready for college and making sure not only me but my teammates are all ready for college and we're all prepared and we win a championship because it's really important to take that next step and we want to be ahead of the game.
Absolutely. Do you, in your opinion, who would you say would be in one of the top or maybe the top two teams that you guys think you guys will be contending against this next year or two?
The two toughest teams we're probably going to play is Sunny Slope. They have a really nice big, and they're getting some transfers, and they have a really good team. And then another, McClintock's a really good team, and Ironwood as well. There's a lot of
Mhm.
good 5A.
Absolutely. I mean, the state of Arizona itself has a ton of great teams that, I mean, there's so many great players that are just spread throughout all across the state.
Yeah.
So, I mean, obviously, I mean, a lot of people obviously know that you are one of the top players in the state, especially
Hmm.
probably the top player as in your class. But so obviously, you've had a lot of offers and talks probably from
Hmm.
prep schools. Have you ever considered maybe going to one?
I was thinking, but it's all about at the end of the day where you're doing good at, and I'm doing good at where I am right now. And my coaches are just amazing. They would do anything for me, and I'll do anything for them. Like that trust has just always been there, and you can't always trust some schools.
hmm Absolutely. I mean, that's something with prep schools. I mean, there's so many positives to so many different things. And for a
Yeah.
lot of kids, it's like prep schools could be this thing where you get to travel across, see the kids all across the country, you get
Hmm.
more notoriety. But then
Yeah.
again, I mean, there are guys like for you, obviously, it's panned out great where you still get as many hours as you need while still
Hmm.
playing at your home and playing in district in the AIA.
That is true.
So, in terms of your dream high school achievements, I mean, what would be some of your top things? I mean, you talked about possibly being a top 20 or top 10 recruit, being
Hmm.
McDonald's All American. Would you rather be like an all-time scoring a block leader at Millennium, or what would be some of your high school goals that you'd want to leave behind?
My high school goals is just doing the best I can at Millennium and just leaving behind a good legacy. And our team winning good championships as well. Just making sure we do really well, and me personally doing really well. I'm not really like for me, McDonald's All American and the Team USA. Like I've always felt like I've been overlooked, and a lot of other players across the country that are getting overlooked that deserve to be in those spots, but all we're going to do is we're going to keep working and we're going to stay focused and be humble because the time's going to come for us.
Absolutely. I mean, that's something I always like to say. I mean, at the end of the day, the NBA is going to be the ones that's going to get it right. I mean,
Yeah.
99% of the time. I mean, even colleges as great as the scouts are, they get things wrong, and recruiters do. I mean, there's
Yeah.
guys like Brandon Clark from Arizona that was a great player at Arizona,
Hmm.
but didn't get a lot of notoriety until he blows up and is now a lottery pick.
It's crazy. That's crazy.
So, hmm so then obviously going to your next season and what you've been working on this past off season, what's one thing that you really think you're trying to improve on your game?
Versatile quickness with footwork and my jump shot. I'm trying to make sure I'm a mismatch nightmare, and also I can shoot. Those are the two things I'm really working on, and then passing vision. Because I feel like I'm gonna get trapped a good amount of times this season, so I gotta be ready to hit my teammates when they're open on the cuts and making the right reads basically, and then just getting bigger and stronger as well. But mostly footwork and being ready for whoever's in my path.
Absolutely. I mean, that's something. I mean, I've watched you a couple of times before and all, but I mean, especially today. I mean, you shot a lot of shots, mid range and 3 pointers that were
Yeah.
obviously going in. I mean, that and the playbook that your coach has set up for you guys. I mean, it's something that utilizes everyone. I mean, you got a lot of weapons like Justice and a lot of guys that can hit and cut, and they
Hmm.
also are great passers, like be able to hit lobs for you and all.
Yeah, that's a good thing about our team is that we know how to hit each other and find each other. We have great team chemistry.
hmm So, who's one player you'd say you kind of model your game around? It could be a high school player from before, college, NBA, or who would you say you truly model your game around?
I'll do like each level. So for high school, like I don't know if I say I'm as good as him because this dude was amazing and his name is Benji Wilson. He got passed away in high school. I really like his game, and I would like to model my game after him and keep doing what he was doing in high school. He had a great mid range, so it was like that's big. In
hmm
college, I really liked Rui Hachimura from Gonzaga. He's a versatile power forward, small forward. He can shoot the mid range. He can step out, shoot the three, and make good reads for his team. And then in the NBA, my big brother Mikal Bridges, and he's just amazing. He can shoot one of the top leaders in steals. I really like defense, so he's up there as well. And he's quick, so it's really hard to guard him.
Absolutely. I mean, especially the Rui one. I mean, I never really thought of that one, but I mean, that actually, I mean, he reminds me a lot of your game. Like you said,
Yeah,
longer but tall, but he's physical, plays defense, but
physical
he's
football.
got every kind of thing.
Yeah, he's tough.
So, what would you say if there's one NBA player you could go pick to team up with right now? Who do you want to team up with?
If I could team up, I'll team up with Mikal and Sons because I'm really cool with him, and that we would bond pretty well together, and he would help me and he would guide me throughout the way and teach me what I need to be taught.
Awesome. A couple weeks or a month ago against Team South when you're playing with the Under Armour and Powerhouse. What was that
Mhm.
experience like? That posterized?
Oh yeah, that was crazy. Like I just caught it. I went around the corner and what was going to happen. I was attacking aggressive, listening to what Coach Vaughn told me and Coach Becker and Coach Mike and Archie, and they told me to be more aggressive. So I went around the corner and was being aggressive, seeing what play I can make, and just went up and slammed it, and the kid was on me, and it turned into a posterizer. So it was really nice play.
No doubt. I mean, that was something. I mean, that was pretty crazy.
Yeah, it was nice. So I was pretty happy after that.
Especially the reactions from your coaching staff and all.
Yeah, that was crazy.
hmm So, what would you say would be some of the most underrated players in Arizona? I mean, we talked about some of them. I mean, there's
Hmm.
so many players at the high
Yeah,
level, but I mean, there's
there's a
so many
lot.
guys that kind of get left around. But
Hmm.
who would you say are some of the most underrated guys?
Like for instance, last year we played against this team called Independence, and his name was EJ or TJ or something. But he was like a really tough player. Like there are some schools just gonna blow them out, and this team came out, and this dude was just going off on us. So I think he's definitely underrated. And then some of my teammates, I feel like they're a good amount of them are underrated. Coleman Field, Jalen Early, some underrated players. Michael Batchelor, and
hmm
those are some big time underrated players. I think that are in Arizona.
No doubt. So,
Mhm.
who would you say would be the best player you've played against in your life?
I got the chance to play up 17 when I was a 15-year-old. I got the chance to play up with the 17U Powerhouse team because it's like a annual thing they do, and we played against I think it was Tyrese Maxey
Okay.
So I played against him. Yeah, he was really tough. I didn't really get in the game that long because I was, freshman playing up 17U for that one game. So, like, it was a good experience.
And how about who would you say would be the best player you played with?
The best player I've played with, definitely my teammates right now. I would say all of them. They really help, help me. We all build each other up, and my club teammates. They're all really good. They've all helped me out, and I've helped them out getting each other better.
That's awesome. So who would you say?
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit now about the NBA and stuff like that. Who would you say would be your favorite NBA team?
Favorite NBA team? That's tough. I like the Clippers a lot because, they almost beat the Warriors first round. I like those types of teams that go out and nobody expects them, like, to come out and, like, win. But the Clippers were about to beat the Warriors first round, and I really like that about them. They got two really good players, Montrezl Harrell coming off the bench and Lou Will coming off the bench, and they're going off,
No doubt. I mean, that was definitely a really fun series seeing the way that
Yeah.
they play as a team and as Doc Rivers led them.
Mm-hmm. That was
And
great.
then who would you say would be your favorite player?
Favorite player, once again, Mikal Bridges.
Mm-hmm.
He's a bucket. Yeah. I just like his game. He's been working. So next season he's gonna go off. And I also like Pascal Siakam, what he does for his team, and Kawhi Leonard, Antetokounmpo, KD. I have a lot of favorite players in the NBA, but yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, McCall's gonna be someone that's like. I mean, he had a great rookie season, but obviously, I mean, it wasn't all around. Like, it wasn't Luka Doncic, it wasn't Trae Young, but I mean, he still he led the rookies in steals
Yeah.
and was top 10 in steals in the entire NBA, which is incredible for a rookie.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Mm-hmm. So, in your opinion, who's gonna end up winning the NBA Finals?
The finals, I think the Raptors might pull away.
Mm-hmm.
I really think that Drake's getting in everybody's head. He's causing his own problem, and I think Siakam and Kawhi Leonard and Lowry, the whole Raptors team, they're going to figure out a way because when they played against the Bucks, it took them 2 games. The Raptors finally figured out a way, how to guard the Bucks, and then they executed the plan. And that's what they're doing against the Warriors, and that's why I feel like they'll beat them.
No doubt. I mean, the way they played tonight was impressive. I mean, it was.
Yeah.
I was not expecting that, especially game one, but they came out with a fire underneath them, and it was fun to watch.
Yeah, it was really fun to watch.
So then, obviously, now this offseason is going to be one of the biggest offseasons we've had in NBA history, probably, with some of the top players, all free agents. But where do you say? Let's talk about a couple of them. Where do you think Kevin Durant will be playing?
KD. I don't know. He might go to New York, from what I've been hearing. But he might say, he's been getting a lot of hate because, he moved from the Thunder to the Warriors. And I understand people hate on him, but I don't know what he might do. He might want to team up in New York, try to start something there. But I feel like if he doesn't win the ship, he might stay in Golden State.
I mean, I'd be shocked if he doesn't stay. I think he has to get that third ring to Tyler Brown, but it's going to be interesting if he comes back or not.
Yeah, I think so too.
So the next person would be Kawhi Leonard. Do you think he's staying in Toronto, or do you think he's going to leave?
Yeah, I think he's staying because, like, Toronto's been treating him really well. I heard he has to pay, 2 different taxes or something. But Kawhi, they have restaurants for him. He gets to eat free and stuff. They love him there. And, I heard he gets a penthouse if he stays. So that might be where he stays, And I think that's pretty cool if he does. He loves his team. He's a really unselfish player. And he's doing really well there. So I think that might be where he stays.
I think so, too. I mean, I think he's there at LA Clippers, but I don't know how he turns down somewhere like Toronto with, like you said, I mean, he literally has the whole country rooting for him.
Yeah, they're rooting for him. They love him.
I mean, that's also something, I mean, as much as I love DeMar DeRozan, something that he never was really able to do. I mean, even Vince Carter couldn't really do it, but
they couldn't do it, and Kawhi's doing it.
So the final guy we can talk about would be Kyrie Irving. Where do you think he's going to be playing?
Kyrie, I think he's going to leave. I want to see him team up with LeBron again. I don't know if that will happen. He's probably going to leave, but it's not working for him because the Celtics are the type of way they play more of a team ball. Kyrie's a great player. He's more of ISO. You give it to him. You need a bucket. The Celtics are more pass cut. Al Horford running through him. But Kyrie's probably going to move to a different type of team to where they have fit his style more.
No, absolutely. I mean, They, like you said, I
Yeah,
mean, Stevens is a great coach that has to be a system coach, which is why they work
yeah,
so great. But I mean, Kyrie's
yeah,
do it my way,
yeah.
kind of get a bucket, like you said.
And yeah, Terry Rozier is still there in Boston, so it's probably gonna be like
No doubt. So the final thing we're going to talk about, I mean, I would like to wrap it up with a little bit of God stuff. But how would you say God has
hmm
helped you out the most throughout your career so far?
how I say God, he's helped me through my ups and downs. He's taught me like what I need to do and what I don't need to do. He's always been there with me. A lot of people like to just look at God and say, um, when they need his help, like they just go straight to him. They need his help, like they just go straight to him. But I think like if you need God, he's always going to be there with you. You don't always need to go to him when you need him. You need to go to him all the time.
Absolutely. I mean, that's something that's so key for so many people that if they truly just learn that and stay with God, I mean, He's always going to be there and He's always going to direct you, no matter what the
Yeah,
ups and downs are. I mean, it's not saying it's ever going to be perfect life, but it's going to be,
yeah,
it's going to be manageable with Him.
yeah.
Well, it's truly been a great time having you on here today, and I can't wait to see what God's got in stock for you. And I hope the Jayhawks are involved in that plan. But whatever it is, God bless.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Best of luck.
All right, you too.
Coming up next, oh boy, you're not going to miss it because I gave you my coaching update. A lot of moves went down, front office moves and coaching hirings, big time things. What do I have to say? Stay tuned because I have to break down what I think about the hirings, who got hired, what's going down, and so much more. Coming up right after this, so stay tuned, everyone. Well, folks, you guys saw the report. LA Lakers. Who are they going to hire as head coach? Some said Jason Kidd. Some tried to say Lionel Hollins. Well, guess what? They both were hired. But obviously not as the head coach because that's Frank Vogel's spot. Jason Kidd has now become the highest paid assistant coach in all the NBA, and now they've added on Lionel Hollins as assistant coach. Now this can be taken in two ways. It's either a super power team of coaching staff, a ton of former head coaches, or this is going to be a mess. And in my opinion, this is a mess. I mean, are you kidding me? Look at this. Think about this. Jason Kidd, I already talked about this before. Jason Kidd. He's going for Frank Vogel's spot, and you guys, Frank Vogel can say no. All the rumors can say yes and no. He's going for his spot. He wants the head coaching job, and that's it. He's going for the head. And in a year, Jason Kidd will be the head coach. So telling me that's not going to cause turmoil? Where does that leave Lionel Hollins? A guy that's coached in many big markets and not done very so well. Yes, he did good at Memphis. But the game's a whole new level. It's not just defensive minded. He's a person that needs attention. He's a person that needs to be the guy. Lionel Hollins isn't just going to lay it back. He likes the big market. So what's he going to do as a third string this year? And who knows what happens next year? I think it's just so many emotions and connections and just team people in the air and in that locker room. It's going to turn into turmoil that's not going to be pleasant. So I love LeBron James, guys. I do, and I want LeBron to succeed. But it will not be at the LA Lakers. It's going to be it's going to practically be impossible. How? I mean, who can go there? They know that it's turmoil everywhere. The coaching staff's going to be a mess. And I hate saying this. I want LeBron to be the best. In all reality, I don't have anything against LA not being good. I wish they could be good. And they have the money to be good. They have the potential to be good. But they won't because there's turmoil and there's just too much drama. LeBron has to go. LeBron has to go to the LA Clippers. LeBron has to go somewhere else. It cannot be here. Go back to South Beach. South Beach can blow it up and go get you. But this is not good, folks. 76ers have now hired Ime Udoka from San Antonio Spurs to be the associate head coach. He was a long-time San Antonio Spurs, 7 or so years there. He was great. Greg Popovich loved him, and once again, another coach moves on. Happens continuously. Everyone gets used to it. They always grow up, and they always become another great head coach or assistant coach in the NBA. It's their role. The 76ers also have interviewed Avery Johnson, the former Brooklyn coach, former Alabama coach. I'm not sure exactly how far those discussions got, but I'm pretty sure it's not too far because now they have the new replacement for Monty Williams in MA. Now for the Minnesota Timberwolves, another big-time move. David Vanderpool, you guys might remember his name being seen all around from head coaching job opportunities. Who he's going to sign with? He's now the assistant head coach for the Timberwolves. He's going to be associate head coach with the Minnesota Timberwolves, formerly with the Portland Trailblazers, which needs to recognize something. Memphis still doesn't have their coach? I mean, how? Are they getting any closer? What is happening to Memphis? Where is the head coach? Because he's now out of the running too. If you ask me, Here's something about Memphis, folks. The Memphis Grizzlies, I'm waiting for someone. Now, I don't know. Is it someone on the Toronto Raptors? One of their assistants or Golden State's? Is the potential one of the coaches being fired? It'd be very unlikely. Is it the names of someone that, who knows, maybe played for Memphis before? Maybe someone like Mike Bibby? I don't know for sure. It could be very quietly done. Maybe someone like David Blatt? I don't think Tyronn Lue's going to go there. But there's someone they're waiting for. Because it's waiting. I want waiting. I like being patient, but this is too patient. Draft's about to get going. You don't have your head coach yet. There's got to be someone. I think we're going to find out very soon. I'd be shocked if we don't. Chauncey Billups might be a very interesting candidate there. Something else I want to say. Will Bill Self potentially leave Kansas? Or will he be forced out to leave? Because I think in college right now, the demand is you need to have a head coach that is a former player that players can relate to and want to play with, like what Penny Hardaway's doing, Jerry Stackhouse is doing. You need that. It is very crucial and important. And I love Bill Self, but I don't think it's going to be meant for this. I don't know if it's going to work out great. And if he could remains the head coach of the Kansas Jayhawks and he can get recruits again, I'm all for it and I love Bill Self. But I don't know if it's going to be possible. But Bill Self can go to the NBA and go coach his former players. Therefore, leaving a spot for Paul Pierce to potentially go to Kansas, where I think will happen someday. I would be shocked if that doesn't happen someday. As for the Chicago Bulls, they've now hired Roy Rogers, the former Houston assistant coach, to a 3-year deal to join Jim Boylan's great staff he's continuing to build out there in Chicago. I continue to support every move out there. As for the Phoenix Suns, they've now hired Steve Blake and Randy Ayers as assistant coaches. Big time hire. Steve Blake is a huge coach. I think he's going to be fun. A lot of players can relate to him as well. As for the NBA, they made a big hiring. Maybe bigger hire than any of these guys. For all I know, it's probably the biggest hiring than any coach you could really get. And that's the first one that they've hired. The NBA Finals, someone appeared there for the game. Barack Obama. He's now expected to have a role in the 2020 Africa League's launch with the NBA and FIBA. He's a great person for that. People can be disciplined, can change different thoughts and opinions based on the president and what he might have done and accomplished. We don't need to get into that because that's not important. I'm here for basketball. That's what I love. And as a man, this is something you always have to respect about Barack Obama. President Obama was someone that's very charismatic. He's a man of the people. And that's something you can't take away from him. And he's someone that loves the game of basketball, and this is a perfect hiring. I couldn't be any more ecstatic for it. There's not many bigger public figures you can get than a president, especially a president of President Barack Obama's caliber. He's coming in, he's going to be a part of the NBA and the expansion. Couldn't be happier. It's an excellent move by Adam Silver and Barack Obama. Excited to see how that pans out works because I think it's going to go great. It's going to be very exciting to see what happens there. There'll be more and more coaching stuff occurring, and I'm excited to see what happens, and I'll keep you guys up to date. But stay tuned. Obviously, it continues to roll, and it keeps getting more and more interesting as the day goes by. 3 weeks ago, I asked you, finals are 2-1. Who's winning it? Guarantee about 100% of you guys would say the Golden State Warriors. Well, folks, it's different now. There might be injuries, but we've got ourselves a series, and Toronto Raptors are up 2-1. How is this happening? What's going to happen? What are all these injuries looking like? What's records are being broken? Stay tuned. I'm going to let you guys know all that stuff and so much more. You're not going to want to miss it. Now, overall, I'd say social media and the free agency has been the biggest hit so far. Not the NBA Finals. Crazy enough to think that the Toronto Raptors are winning and there's not enough attention. Well, that's because it's just me, or does it feel like it just isn't the finals? Like, to me, I don't feel this is the final series of the NBA. I feel like we're just getting going. It doesn't feel like it's the NBA Finals right now, and it might be because, well, there's not really the stars playing. You know it's not fair. You know Kevin Durant's not playing. You know Boogie's not 100%. You know Clay was just out. You know Kevin Looney was out. You know Iguodala's getting old and has been playing with an injury. Same thing with Livingston. You know Damian Jones has been dealing with injuries. You know OG Anunoby's not been playing. I mean, it's crazy. But you can't take away the fact that Toronto Raptors are up 2-1 and might be... They're just 2 games away from winning an NBA championship. That being said, OG Anunoby has yet to play a game. Yes, he's been clear, but he's not playing. Something tells me he's not right. Or he just needs to get in more and more shape. So he's not playing. Kawhi Leonard has become the 5th player to have 15 30-point games in a playoff run. He's been out of his mind playing. I mean, you can't take away anything from him. He has been the best players in the NBA playoffs and this whole playoffs. KD might have still had him on that, but KD's been out. Also, speaking of Kawhi Leonard, he's sued at Nike for copywriting his logo without consent. His claw logo. I'm not sure how. I mean, Kawhi probably will win that because it was his patch and it's his, but it's interesting to come up midway through the finals. Another crazy thing is I want to talk about this for the Toronto Raptors. Nick Nurse has been an incredible coach, and I just want to give props once again to Masai Ujiri. He made a bold move, and that's what general managers have to be. You can't be a general manager without being bold and making moves, and not one person agreed with him. Everyone was giving backlash and hate. He showed up his franchise player that wanted to stay in Toronto, as most people thought it's impossible to keep someone in Toronto. Well, I think they're doing it with Kawhi, but here's DeMar DeRozan, fired Coach of the Year Dwayne Casey. But guess what? Then the NBA Finals up 2-1 against the Golden State Warriors. Tell me that's not impressive. That's the level at which Masai Ujiri runs, and he's not. That's what I'm saying. He's not going to be scared to trade off Kyle Lowry this summer. He won't be scared to do any of those moves. He will make whatever move is best for his team. He is an excellent general manager. Final thing I want to talk about, it pertains to Toronto, but not at the same time it doesn't. It responds to Marcus Gasol, a matter of fact, what he didn't do, but what someone else did for him. So, a lot of people don't understand this, but I try to make it as crucial and clear as possible. Young players need veterans in the locker room. You can't just fill your team with young guys. Veterans are one of the most important, if not the most important people in the locker room. Well, Marcus Gasol was Jaren Jackson Jr.'s mentor. He mentored him, helped him go after a crazy start, showed him how great Jaren Jackson can be. Obviously, one of the greatest Memphis Grizzlies players ever, if not the best, and a great Hall of Fame player. But Marcus Gasol, he's exciting getting ready for the NBA Finals, and Jaren Jackson surprises him at the Finals to go talk with him. Absolutely impressive. Not many young players want to respect the elders, at least go back and out of their time during their offseason when they could be out on a vacation to go see their mentor, go see their veteran Marcus Gasol. That's something special. And I'm truly ecstatic about that. That shows just how great and how great of a person Marcus Gasol is. That shows the love he has for the young guys and how much he truly invests and how important he is for a locker room. Well, he's not just a talented player. He's more than that. And that's what I love seeing. For Golden State, KD is out game 4, and he will be out for the rest of the playoffs. I've called it. When he first went down, I called it. Now, maybe if they go down 3-1, will he come back and bring them back? Wouldn't be shocked. I would love seeing that. Curse has the good chance that he plays in game 5 or 6, but I don't think it's going to happen. Klay Thompson will be back for game 4, and there's rumors that Kevon Looney might return in the finals. Another crazy thing, Boogie, when he had that quad injury, reportedly considered quitting. Could you imagine that? And honestly, I don't know how good Boogie will end up turning. I love Boogie, guys. I loved Boogie in Sacramento when people hated him. I bought his jersey. I love DeMarcus Cousins. Boogie Cousins is one of my favorite guys. He plays with intensity and emotion I love. That passion is crucial to me as a player. I love watching that. I love that so much. Boogie's fun. Boogie's athletic. Boogie can do everything. Look at the things he was doing in New Orleans was MVP worthy. Historically great. And then the injury occurred. And that quad injury might I don't know, might set him back more. But we will see. Because if they win the finals, he got himself a ring and he worked for it. I love Boogie, but I hope he's back. I hope he can stay healthy, but I just don't know if he will. Sad is I don't know if he'll get his money this summer, even though he might deserve it. But he did consider quitting, folks. And I'm glad he did not, though. Now, Steph Curry also had his finals best 47 points in a heroic performance that just couldn't carry them. Obviously, the second and third best player, two of the top 4 players were not there. But there's one thing we need to talk about. I think you guys all know what it is. And that's to do with the ownership groups in Golden State. Not all of them, but one in particular. You guys know what happened. Kyle Lowry went diving into the stands, front row. And there's one thing. Bracing for impact, putting your hands out, trying to protect the guy from not falling on top of you and protecting yourself. Awesome. You do that. Even maybe if he's the one that falls on top of you, even maybe a little shove. And when I mean shove, I don't mean a shove that this owner did. I mean like a little push off to help him get back up and like you're shoving him to pick him up kind of thing, if you know what I mean. That I'm 100% okay with. But Golden State, their part owner, Mark Stevens, he wasn't even near this. He was near it, but not really. But he went and shoved Kyle Lowry, and that was unacceptable. That, like LeBron said, this is not the game. And if Kyle Lowry would have went after him, he could have risked his career and his job. Thankfully, he didn't do it, but he could have. He had every right to. Absolutely ridiculous. Thankfully, the NBA did what he does. This is a players' league, and Adam Silver once again displayed that at a high level. He banned that owner for 1 year. Mark Stevens banned for 1 year, and he was fined $500,000. I said it's proper punishment. Absolutely unacceptable. I hope we learned this lesson. You should be a class organization, and trust me, Golden State is a class-wide. They're a very classy organization. They don't do much wrong. Yes, they made a super team, but you can't take that away from them. They handle everything with class. They are a top group that knows how to win games in a proper way. Yes, Draymond can do his thing, but at the end of the day, Draymond does it because he's the love of the game. He's a great person. Not many of these guys ignore the media or trash talk the media. These are great guys. And Golden State has been a very high class organization, and there's no denying that whatsoever. But what he did was absolutely unacceptable, and that was unlike the Golden State group. That was absolutely just disheartening. But I'm glad Adam Silver took care. But the NBA Finals will continue to get going, and boy, am I enjoying this. Stay tuned, everyone. This finals is just getting started. I think it's going to go to Game 7. Watch out. It's going to be a great one. Everyone's favorite SchuZ Zone coming up next. I got a few topics I got to hit up, and one that truly hurts me. And I am upset to hear it happen. Let me get into it, because you're not going to miss what I have to say. Stay tuned, everyone. It's going to be a great SchuZ Zone. Paul Pierce goes down. NBA Finals. LA Lakers vs Boston Celtics. He was down holding the knee bad. Gets pulled away on a wheelchair. For who knows what happened. Well, Pierce broke his story, folks, and guess what? It's a little more dramatic than we had to have. It appears that Paul Pierce had to use the restroom, if you know what I mean. And there was an accident that occurred, which he wanted to hide, so he went there, and that's why he came back not too far after, and yes, he went off. But Paul Pierce shared the details. I didn't say exactly what happened, but I think you can take it from there. So that story is great? No, that just took Paul Pierce's clout, and that took his intensity, that took his playing through pain completely out of the window. He was, in some people's eyes, near Garnett level. And he's no longer there. It probably dropped him way below that. Point is, that was 10 years ago. Paul Pierce is still a first ballot Hall of Fame player and a great historical player. But he just keeps saying stuff and keeps having stuff happen that just truly take him out of the relevance. DeMar DeRozan, though. Paul Pierce said that I'm the reason that things can even happen this way. And he also said I was a sacrificial lamb, which he was. He was a good player that got Kawhi Leonard here that, well, got Toronto up 2-1 in the series in the NBA Finals against the Golden State Warriors. Upsetting? Yes. Also talking about having 600 pairs of shoes on a great episode by Bleacher Report. Great show. Now, the NCAA decided to move the three-point line back to the overseas distance. As some of the people I've talked to, like Devin Cambridge, that are going to be playing the NCAA soon, they said it's a lot further. I don't think it's going to affect them, upcoming and incoming freshmen, but the guys that have been there 1, 2, 3 years, going into senior year or whatever, it is really going to affect them because that's what they've been used to for so long. But in my opinion, I don't get it. Why not just move to the NBA? Why just move to overseas? Because the problem is that players don't necessarily know how to shoot threes in college when they move to the NBA. Yes, it's further, but just make it NBA if you're going to make it further. What's the point of NCAA? Maybe it could be the fact you could say that overall, more players would be going to overseas than they would to NBA in college. But still, move it to NBA. That's a weird relevance. We're America. Final thing I need to hit up. Episode 4, SchuZ Views. Had a coach that is really special to me and Coach Book Richardson. Now, I'm sure if you guys have seen the media and the news alerts, Book Richardson has reportedly been charged with conspiracy of bribery. There's been one count of that. Surrender date is July 8th, and it's going to be about 6 weeks away. It's upsetting. He's been sent to prison for 3 months and 2 years of supervised release. Let me say something, folks. As a media person, I don't know why people leak information. That's A. And I'm not going to leak information right now, but I'm going to tell you one thing. I know for a fact that Book Richardson did not pay DeAndre Ayton or any of those guys. I know for a fact it was not him, nor was it any of the assistant coaches. It was the head coach of the University of Arizona, Sean Miller. It was. I don't need to hide it. I think it's pretty knowledgeable info. And yes, did both Book do some things wrong, maybe? Yes. I know he's going to learn, and God's going to guide him through his path. But there's no reason for court or for prison time. 3 months in prison is unacceptable and absolutely ridiculous. It's a blasphemy. That's why a lot of stuff, this court system is not actually right. There's too many things that need to be fixed there. Celebrities don't get put in prison all the time, but other people do. Absolutely ridiculous. Coach Book has my full support. I know God's going to put him down this path for some reason, and he'll learn. But if Coach Book, you're listening to this, I appreciate you for everything you've done for me and for everything, and you're a great coach. You're a great person. I know God's got a great path for you. I know that your future's still bright. You're going to have some impact, and God's going to have you have an impact in some way, shape, or form. And you'll always be my prayers, Coach. But this is ridiculous, and it was not your fault. As long as Sean Miller is still a free person, this is ridiculous. Sean Miller was at fault, and he made the big decision. His punishment should be greater than this, and he should be let go at any time now. That is my take on that, folks. I hate seeing that for guys like Nico, Josh, Terry, all those guys I know. Hate seeing that for them. Losing their coach right by the season. But duty must be served, and that's what's going down. I have to admit to that. That's what I got for you guys for SchuZ Zone. You're not going to miss it. Of course, Monday's coming up with another SchuZ Zone. I always got the stuff for the media just not highlighting enough. I just need to dig right into it and give you guys all the knowledge about what I have to say. That's SchuZ Zone. Episode 17 is in the books. Thank you so much, all my SchuZ Views listeners. I truly do appreciate you guys tuning in today, and I hope you guys all enjoyed this episode, because Powerhouse Episode 3 is in the books, and Episode 17 is also in the books. I hope you guys all enjoyed it as much as I did, because I had a blast. But if you guys haven't seen, I made some big moves in the past couple of weeks, talking to a lot of people, making connections, and I think SchuZ Views will become the #1 podcast in Arizona in terms of sports, and in Arizona, period. Because there will be big-time people and guests coming up, and there's only one way to find out. Go to my Instagram, go to my Twitter page, and go like and go follow me. You're not going to miss it. I give you guys all the pictures, all the information on who's joining, what's upcoming, and you're not going to miss it. So go follow at Zach Schumaker right now, Instagram and Twitter. You can also go and subscribe to my YouTube channel at SchuZ Views Zach Schumaker, or like my Facebook page, SchuZ Views Zach Schumaker as well. You're not going to miss it. Big time stuff. Now, obviously, if you listen to the podcast, you need to go help me out. Go subscribe. Go like. Go whatever it is, favorite my podcast on, depending on the platform you may be listening to. I truly would appreciate it. And if you could, please go leave a comment. I promise to get back to you. Now, voice messaging is my Instagram, my Facebook stuff, my Twitter, my YouTube, all that stuff. I'm putting it out there. I want you guys to send me voice messages. I would love to put in a segment about voice messages, and you guys can all start it out. Please go do it. It's going to truly be great. I'll put it on the beginning or the end of the show. We'll figure that out. But ask me any question. Where do you think a free agent's going to go? Anything, I will answer it, and I'll give you guys a shout out in the show. You're not going to miss it. It's truly a great opportunity for everyone to have. Now, Evan Nelson, South Point Catholics, one of the star players. One of Powerhouse's best players. Next episode, episode 18. It's going to be a special one for Powerhouse episode 4, followed by Bret Hart, and the final one of Powerhouse series. We're almost done, folks, but it's going to be a great one. Stay tuned, everyone, because episode 17 is now in the books, though. And I hope you guys all enjoyed it. With that being said, folks, SchuZ is out. I hope that everyone go be the light. And God bless.